You have been here for months, or maybe even years, but let's be honest, you are still living in a translated version of reality. You work in English, you date in English, and you hide in English. Whether you are a solo professional in Berlin or a parent in Tokyo, the English trap is the single biggest reason expats fail to integrate, and recent 2025 data proves it is destroying your mental health. You think staying in your linguistic comfort zone is safe, but it is actually a cage. Today we are going to talk about why you still feel like an outsider and exactly how to break free. If you work in a tech hub or an international corporate office, you likely spend 8 hours a day in a friction-free English bubble. You might feel productive, but statistics suggest you are actually vulnerable. A major 2024 report by AXA Global Healthcare revealed that 80% of expats experience negative mental health symptoms specifically due to their work environment. You walk into a glass building in Lisbon or Amsterdam, speak English all day, and go home. You aren't living abroad, you are just working in a generic office that happens to be in a different time zone. This creates a false sense of security, where you believe you are integrating because you have colleagues, but the moment you step outside that glass door, the city turns into background noise you cannot decode. We have all been there. You walk into a bakery, rehearse the local phrase for sourdough bread 5 times in your head, and then say it. The baker looks at you, hears the hesitation, and immediately replies in perfect English. A 2023 study by Expat found that 68% of expats freeze up during these exact moments due to acute anxiety. Most people feel relief when the switch happens and laugh it off, but you should feel defeated. Every time you accept the switch, you reset your progress to 0. It signals to the world that you are a tourist rather than a resident. The local person isn't trying to be rude, they are trying to be efficient. But by accepting that efficiency, you agree to remain an outsider who needs to be accommodated. Your social life probably looks like a United Nations meeting, which sounds exciting until you realize everyone is leaving. Research by Dr. Sean Truman has shown that expats are 2.5 times more likely to develop anxiety and depression than those who stay home, and isolation is a primary driver. When you only befriend other expats, you build relationships on a foundation of transience. You bond over complaints like the bureaucracy, the rude waiters, or the confusing tax system. It feels good to vent, but it traps you in a negative feedback loop. Without the local language, you will never have a deep or complex conversation with a local person. You are limited to weather talk and polite nods, which means you never truly understand the culture you claim to live in. For families, the dynamic is often even harder for the partner who doesn't have the job. In 1981, Mary Brailove coined the term trailing spouse syndrome in the Wall Street Journal, and 40 years later, the reality hasn't changed. If you followed your partner abroad, you lose your career identity, your support network, and your linguistic autonomy, all at once. You go from being a competent professional to someone who cannot read a utility bill. This dependency breeds resentment as you wait for your partner to come home to make phone calls for you. You feel like a child in an adult's body. This isn't just culture shock, it is a fundamental loss of self. The school gate is the most brutal place for an expat parent. You stand there 5 minutes before pickup, watching local parents laugh, gossip, and make play dates. You are physically present, but socially, you are a ghost. You check your phone not because you are busy, but because you look busy. The language barrier here doesn't just isolate you, it isolates your child. You miss the subtle details of the PTA meetings. You don't know which kid is the bully or which teacher is strict because you cannot follow the fast-paced banter. You become a second-class parent, reliant on official emails rather than the crucial playground whisper network that actually runs the school. When you do not learn the language, you force your child to step up. Researchers call this language brokering, and studies from the National Institutes of Health link it to higher anxiety levels in children. It might seem cute when your 8-year-old orders your dinner, but it disrupts the natural hierarchy of the family. You lose your authority, while your child becomes the gatekeeper of information. They edit what the teacher said to protect you or to protect themselves. You are no longer the protector. You are the dependent. This dynamic places an unfair emotional burden on kids who just want to fit in, yet they have to navigate adult complexities because their parents refused to leave the English bubble. So you choose an international school to avoid that struggle. It seems logical, but now the whole family lives in Little America or Little Britain. Your kids learn in English, play in English, and consume English media. They become what sociologists call third culture kids, but with a twist. They live in a country they do not actually inhabit. They float above the local culture and look down at it. This creates a sense of cultural homelessness. They do not belong to your home country because they have never lived there, and they do not belong to the host country because they cannot speak the language. You haven't protected them. You have unmoored them. Enough with the problems. Here is how you fix it, and it starts with aggressive discomfort. Find a no English zone. This could be a barber, a butcher, or a small neighborhood cafe where the staff physically cannot speak English. Make this your base. You will stumble, point, and look foolish. That is the point. When you remove English as a safety net, your brain switches from passive observer to survival mode. You aren't learning from a textbook. You are learning from necessity. The first time you successfully get a haircut without saying a word of English, your confidence will skyrocket. Stop trying to memorize verb tables and start contextual learning. Join a boxing gym, a pottery class, or a local choir where the instruction is 100% in the local language. This works because the physical context explains the words for you. When the instructor yells a command and everyone drops to do push-ups, you learn what that word means instantly. You bypass the translation center of your brain and connect the sound directly to the action. It forces you to listen to the rhythm and tone of the language rather than dissecting it mathematically. You aren't studying, you are participating. For parents, use your captive audience. When you are at your kid's football practice or ballet class, refrain from looking at your phone. Look at the parent next to you because they are bored too. They are stuck there for an hour, which makes this your low-stakes training ground. Learn 3 specific questions before you go, such as asking how long their son has played, if the coach is good, or if they live nearby. It doesn't matter if your grammar is broken. Most locals respect the effort immensely. You shift from being the ghost parent to the trying parent, and that slight shift changes everything about how you feel in your new city. Quick pause. If you are nodding along because this feels a little too familiar, that means you are ready to make a change. Subscribe to the channel right now, because next week we are breaking down the exact financial mistakes expats make when they move abroad. You do not want to miss that. Do not let the English trap turn you into a ghost in your own city. Be bold. Throw yourself into the local environment and just start talking. Most people aren't waiting for you to make a mistake. They are waiting to help you succeed. They respect the courage it takes to try. So take off the English life jacket and just dive in. You have got this. If this video gave you the push you needed, hit that subscribe button and share your own expat struggles in the comments below, because I read every single one.